Okay, so let's start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's bioRN member-to-member session. My name is Stefanie Füller, and I'm very happy to introduce the members, the people behind the companies of the bioRN network, what they bring to our life science ecosystem in real-world practice. Today, I'm very happy to feature SPT Labtech, a company that has been shaping laboratory automation for more than 25 years with a strong focus on liquid handling, sample preparation, and sample management. Most recently, SPT Labtech has expanded validated NGS library preparation workflow together with a collaboration partner on their Firefly platform, addressing a key bottleneck many genomic labs are facing today: scaling workflows without compromising data quality and reproducibility. With us today are Jing Sang and Isabel Coxhold. Great to have you both here today. So let's start with a short introduction, please. Could you briefly introduce yourself and your roles at SPT Labtech?
Sure. Yeah, let me start. My name is Jing, and I'm a field application scientist at SPT Labtech. So basically, I started as a bench scientist, worked many years in the lab, firstly in the hematology and then immunology, and then since 2024, I joined SPT Labtech. So I talk about my daily life. So I think you can split it into on-site at the customer side or in the office. At the customer side, I support the customer to establish their workflow or make the application work. And when for back in the office, then I'm like helping the customer to make the project consulting, see how we can support them to make the application work, dealing with technical questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Isabel.
My name is Isabel. I'm the territory manager for SPT Labtech, covering West Germany and Switzerland. So Heidelberg is within my territory. And I joined SPT Labtech in July 2025, so 7 months ago. And I'm a biologist by training. I did a PhD and a postdoc at the University in Cologne. So I really have also background about NGS, single-cell sequencing, and also 3D cell culture, and also started as a field application specialist when I started my company career after the academic career. And then I moved into sales, and really happy to be now at SPT, supporting the scientists here.
Yeah. So we have today we have a good combination here, some strategic knowledge and hands-on lab knowledge, of course. So Isabel, would you tell us please briefly the story of SPT Labtech? When was it founded? What was the original motivation? And what are the mission and vision today?
Yeah, so SPT was founded in 1997. It was a spin out of TTP, and in UK, Cambridge or Melbourne is the actual location, but it's nearby Cambridge. And it's still the headquarters since today, until today. And the goal at this time was to solve practical laboratory challenges by automated liquid handling, but also sample management. And the vision today is also to work together to accelerate life science. Yeah, and maybe also a quick side note, SPT stands for Sample Management Technologies.
Okay, thank you very much. So from the very beginning, it's really been about making lab work more precise, more efficient, and more reliable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how has SPT Labtech evolved over the time, especially in terms of product portfolio and focus areas?
Yeah. So first, we grow as a team. So from the headquarters, we spread it a little bit worldwide. So we have now a global team with over 400 people, not only in UK, but also in Germany, USA, and also China. And we grow also through a strategic acquisition. So in 2019, for example, we acquired Quantifoil to strengthen our expertise in cryo-EM. And then in 2020, we acquired a Chinese company to strengthen our footprint in the Asian market. And a year after, we acquired 2 US companies, so Apico Design and Biomicrolab, and to broaden our portfolio. Yeah.
So there was a shift towards more integrated workflow rather than single instruments, right?
Yeah, both.
Both. Okay.
Both. Yeah.
So what makes your company now, probably it's a question for you both,
Yes.
innovative?
So when you see the latest insect in our portfolio, the firefly, I think you can just summarize the innovation what SPT Labtech has to offer. Maybe Ying, you can comment a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we also brought a slide to show the involvement of our portfolio. And so basically you can see over the years, we keep on bringing out new platforms to covering different application fields. And I think the drive for our innovation is really like we always have science in the mind, and then the product development always like through collaborating with the scientists in the lab. We talk with the scientists and they see their needs, and then we brought this feedback also into our product design.
Okay, let me just comment here to highlight 2 of the major innovations. So first, the positive displacement technology we are using with the mosquito and the dragonfly since years now, and also the pneumatic tube transportation that we have implemented in the compound compact and Arctic, and also lab-to-lab technology. There are really 2 innovations that stands out for SPT Labtech, I would say.
Sounds great on a technology level. So let's bring this into the everyday reality of genomics and NGS labs. So Ying, from your experience in the field, what are the most common bottlenecks you see in genomics and NGS labs today?
Yeah, very good question. So I think we all see the dramatically faster progress in the genomics nowadays with the IVT, the Artima, and also the industry level of Illumina sequencer is NovaSeq. One can see that with NGS, the downstream has dramatically involved to very high throughput. That basically brought this upstream of this sample preparation into the becoming a new bottleneck, because this sample preparation by nature is very tedious. So it needs a lot of repeated like liquid handling work, and it's quite error prone. Yeah, and plus there are quite some liquids are really very viscous, difficult to handle. So let's make it difficult to go for high throughput and lower cost if you keep on manual work.
All right, so it's about speed, about quality, consistency. How teams, of course, use their time in the end. So before I just move forward with the next question, I just wanted to say to the attendees now at Zoom, you can ask your questions in the chat, and I will forward them later to you both. Right. So next question is, Ying, again for you. Where do manual workflows start to limit scalability, reproducibility, or data quality from your experience?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned, so basically with the nature of this NGS sample preparation, there are so much repetitive and laborious liquid handling parts. And let's take an example like bees cleanup. Who have ever done it most probably hate it, because it's really a lot of pipetting and wait and pipetting and wait. So this is eating the scientist's time, which they could just use it for more creative work. And another thing is for a lot of reagents in this NGS workflow could also be quite viscous. And let's basically bring our for example, we are using positive displacement technology, and let it working liquid class agnostic. That is really solving this problem really fine. And another thing will be like the long and complex workflow that is also basically brought instability to the sample preparation. Yeah.
So that explains why many labs feel the pressure of automating workflows, but still hesitate. So what's a typical barrier you see in practice?
Maybe I can comment. A lot of people have a little fear about the software because they have to program the protocols for their workflow. And that's also where we can support them, because the Firefly software is really easy to use and really intuitive to use.
Yeah, I think I can further add a bit. Yeah, so some people maybe particularly has fear with automation because at least in the past, automation feels like a specialized field. You need an automation specialist to do this. But now I work in the company for almost 2 years, and my background was completely scientist. So, and I would say with SPT, at least our softwares and also the instruments are designed in such a way that we have like ease of use in mind. So basically, you can easily to write your protocol, execute the protocol, and also make a modification and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So people first, and then technology.
Yeah.
You can say. Right. From your perspective, what defines a successful and lab-friendly automation strategy? And do you have examples from your daily work with customers around the world?
Yeah, I think a successful lab automation should be ease of use. Yeah, so basically, I think now we are in the AI era. Yeah, so people, we should also enable everybody to be able to use lab automation. It should be just integrated into the everyday life.
Yeah.
And another thing will be it should be also flexible and scalable. So some like a service provider or core lab, they have higher throughput. They already invested in automation. But even the lab with medium or relatively lower throughput, they should also be able to accommodate this kind of requirements. So it should be really easy to change to different number, sample number, etc.
So that's a perfect setup to talk about a concrete example. Let's look at Firefly. It's a wonderful name, by the way. All of your products are and it's an all-in-one platform for NGS library preparation. So, Isabel, I would like to ask you, what's your recent innovation in Firefly, and how would you describe it in the context of genomic workflows?
So we made a really compact instrument, so it's really a small footprint, so it fits to any workspace. So when you compare to other instruments, it's really compact. And as Ying mentioned a couple of times already, the ease of use. So with the software, which is really intuitive, user-friendly, and we use a lot of icons, so you don't have to need to know the programming language. You just see and put your protocol together. That's really great. Yeah.
Okay. So, and if we connect it directly with the bottlenecks we mentioned at the beginning, and you described earlier, how helps Firefly when it comes to overcoming those bottlenecks in genomics and NGS labs today? Like to take the
So basically, one bottleneck was the increased throughput, right? And with Firefly, so we have this robot has 2 heads. One head is the pipette head, and the other one is dispense head. So basically, with this instrument, you don't need to change the head. You can directly work with 96, 384 well plate, and you can also work with rows or column or single tapes. So with this one instrument, basically you can really already go for much higher throughput. And then another thing is, for example, with the viscous difficult liquid. And because we also have this positive displacement technology inside, that's why with the difficult liquid, we can just use the dispense height, and which is highly precise that you can dispense down to 0.2 microliter of liquids into the well. Yeah, so that's really, really good.
Sounds great. And in reality, from your customer interactions, what changes do labs notice first after moving to automated lab prep with, especially with the Firefly?
Yeah. So first of all, people can really, instead of processing only like 16, 24 of samples per day, to processing like 96 samples per day, or 384 samples. Yeah. And then the consistency and repeatability should also improve, because then you don't really have this user error. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a day-to-day impact. But of course, there's also a bigger picture for research and collaboration. So I would like to ask you, Isabel, how does Firefly help to accelerate genomic research, for example, through real-world applications, collaborations, or partnerships?
Yeah, we have a lot of different partnerships. So we are working together with a lot of different kit providers. I think, we have a slide here, so you can really see we're working with 10x for single-cell genomics, but we have also PacBio, NEB, and Watchmaker. So we support the scientists directly with running protocols on the Firefly with the most common kits on the market. And but of course, we are also flexible. If they need amendments, we support them to write the protocols for that. Yeah.
Great, wonderful. So now we have a short video you brought one, and let's dig into the company and see some impressions of Firefly.
Welcome to SPT Labtech. We strive to inspire customers' ingenuity by designing and building world-leading lab automation solutions that transform the way scientists work to make a real difference to human health around the world.
We embed my team of manufacturing engineers with the development team when we're creating a new product. So we think about how can we make it manufacturable, how can we test it, how can we know we're building it properly as we go. Then as we reach production, we're thinking about things like test jigs, processes. We spend a lot of time training our build technicians, involving them in the prototyping process, getting their feedback, which is really insightful. And then as we enter full production, we have quality department who's supporting us on the build line. We implement checks and processes. We hold regular product reviews where we analyze feedback from the field, from indirectly from customers, and look for any ways that we can improve quality, make things more robust as we manufacture.
I see SPT Labtech as very much a collaborator with our customer base. So understanding, I think one key part that we've always tried to do and continue to try to do is really understand the problems, the bottlenecks for our customers. So we're often looking for solutions to those issues to help them with their research. So I think in terms of pure out and out research, we definitely work heavily in collaboration with our customers. And our part of that is really understanding the problems and often thinking about them in lots of different ways, coming up with lots of different possible solutions, having discussions with customers about those possible solutions, and ultimately coming to something that is, convenient to use, cost effective, brings efficiencies, and really makes a difference to our customers. So I think, that's how I see our role as a company. So I think the thing that I've worked on most in the last few years is the Firefly, which was introduced a few years ago now. And we did a lot of work as we developed Firefly. We talked to a lot of customers, worked with a lot of people, and looked at their existing workflows. And there were a number of things that came out of that. One was related simply to laboratory space. So, one big factor, one good example I can give you is that we saw that the amount of space available in most laboratories is so much smaller now than it was before. So we started to think about how could we actually use a small footprint to actually bring a lot of power to customers. And we were able to incorporate that with Firefly by using the vertical space. So, we have dispensing technologies, pipetting technologies, and also incorporated things like incubation and shaking. And by layering that in a vertical manner with moving decks on AdWork, we were able to really get everything down on a small footprint, and then to control that to an interface which actually mounts directly on the machine, so you don't need an additional PC or something sat by the side of the machine. Meant that we could really concentrate an awful lot of power into a very small space. So I think that's a really good example of a recent innovation.
When it comes to our company culture and the continuous improvement we want to make to our company culture, the focus is ensuring that employees feel supported, respected, valued. We want to create an environment where we foster open communication and opportunity and real support and flexibility for our employees, lots of opportunities to learn. Through that, we are demonstrating our commitment to our employees and us wanting to help them grow personally and professionally to become their best selves. It benefits them, it benefits the business.
Well, thank you very much for sharing the video with the impressions about the people behind the innovations. So we have coming to the outlook, probably, Isabel. Where do you see genomics automation heading in the next 3 to, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah, that's really a great question. So I think we will see more throughput in more labs because for sequencing, as Ying just mentioned, the costs are reduced. So the people will produce more data. And for that, they need to handle more samples. So
And we're going to discuss this also at the Smart Lab Summit you might have heard about, and you were exhibited there. It's one of the bioRN events we are going to run next year in 2027 again, and we definitely will talk about the future of workflow automation in general. So to both of you, from your perspective, what types of genomics or translational labs benefit most from getting started with automation now?
Yeah, I think the labs which has medium to higher throughput, and then they are searching for scaling up. They will benefit a lot from our instrument. And the labs who's searching for reducing costs and thinking about miniaturization, they will also benefit from our product. So because we talked a lot about Firefly, but we also have other instruments.
Of course, yes.
So this is the dramatic miniaturization is also one of important feature.
Yeah, everywhere you have like this repetitive pipetting steps, we probably can support. So it's really good for people, researchers, just to reach out and discuss potential projects, I assume, so that we can find the best fit for them and for their work, for their workflow.
So that's really something that we also want to stress out today, that you're part, of course, of the bioRN network, a very strong ecosystem. And maybe you want to emphasize on how you can help other members in our network, and what kind of partners or collaborations are you particularly interested in?
So collaborations are always welcome. So whenever you have an idea, we are really happy to talk and discuss your projects. It can be either NGS, but it can be also 3D cell culture or any other research idea you have. So we are really open-minded for that. And
So the next occasion might be the bioRN Lounge, where Ying or Isabel will attend, probably in February or March, where you can approach both or send them, of course, an email. So now let me check if we already have some questions from the audience. Yes. How long, that's the question, how long does it need to install the Firefly, or the change from manual to the process done by Firefly? Is it days, weeks, or do we talk about months?
Yeah, so basically, once you order the instrument, then it should be like in months.
Lead time is like 8 weeks, I would say, but yeah.
Around 8 weeks, so
Yeah.
I would say.
And once it's installed, we offer the on-site training, and this is like over 1 week. We make sure that people are already feel comfortable with the instrument. Then we also support with the first application. But once you use it, you will find it's relatively easy to operate and to do everything. So afterwards, we are still continuously offer support.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I have another question. Where do labs actually, or would you say that labs actually save money in the long run? And where do costs shift probably rather than disappear if you start with automation? Do you understand?
Kind of, yeah. So, for example, as Ying just said, regarding miniaturization, you can reduce the costs of the liquids you are using.
Yeah.
And of course, in the long run, you would save up.
All right.
Yeah. But also for pipettes, right? For the pipetting tips, you can also, for example, with the Dragonfly, you can also reduce a little bit of the waste so to make it more sustainable, which will also reduce costs, of course. Yeah.
And maybe teams, that's what we said before the interview, maybe could focus more on new projects or research program projects. So this is really one of the main.
You always forget that the people pipetting is always costing also time, and you can also always use this time for other things, right? Yeah.
But there's also new skills probably that people in the lab need to focus on. Can you probably talk about that? So is there a change with automation? Of course, there's maybe a change in the knowledge of the personnel working in the lab.
Yeah, for sure. Then with this precious time saved, then people can focus in more like experiment design. They can process much more samples within the same time, and they can focus on also data analysis, for example, experiment design, or explore different workflows. Because in quite some labs, maybe they are focusing one or two workflows, but with the automation, they can also have the time and prepare new protocol and explore the different opportunity.
Okay. So my last or final question would be, if a lab wants to take just one first step towards automation, what would you recommend starting with?
So me personally, I wouldn't recommend just a specific instrument because we need to talk to the people first before finding out the perfect solution for them. I'm not a friend of just saying, you're perfectly fine. No, just speak with us and then we find the perfect solution. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Is there any biggest misconception you learned about in the past when you talked to potential customers about getting started with automation?
Sometimes people are afraid that they are getting redundant, maybe, but it's really not the truth because they can do other things. So it's just addition, right? And coming back to the software, they are really like afraid that it's too complicated and they cannot do it, but you can learn it. It's really easy. Yeah.
So wonderful. With SPT Labtech, of course, you can learn how to automate your lab or start with the processes. Thank you very much, Inge and Isabel, for this wonderful interview. Thank you for dialing in today, and we're very much looking forward to meet you at one of the bioRN events in the future, namely the 24th of February. There's the bioRN launch taking place, and the next M2M will be around May, so you will receive the invitation right on time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.